Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. So, what if I told you that a single simple decision you make today could completely rewrite your financial future? And no, it doesn't require a fancy college degree, some high-paying executive job, or a secret trust fund from your parents. Today, we're unpacking the math and the method behind a deceptively simple strategy, setting aside just $100 a month. We're going to see exactly how the equivalent of what you might spend on, say, a couple of extra pump vanilla lattes each week can literally be transformed into an absolute wealth-generating machine.
Okay, let's look at our roadmap for today. We're going to start by looking at the middle-class wealth trap. Then we'll dive into 40 years of compound growth. After that, we'll talk about practical steps for finding your $100, automating your wealth machine, and finally, developing that all-important wealth-building mindset.
All right, diving right into Section 1, the middle-class wealth trap, and how we escape the earn and spend cycle.
Listen, if you've ever felt this deep, lingering anxiety about your finances, even though you work incredibly hard and do everything quote-unquote right, I want you to know you're not alone. In fact, you're actually in the majority. According to recent surveys, a shocking number of Americans cannot access even $1,000 for an emergency. Just think about the implications of that for a second. More than half the country is living so close to the edge that a minor car repair, a sudden medical bill, or just a temporary disruption at work could completely derail their lives. And what's really fascinating and frankly kind of terrifying is that we aren't just talking about minimum wage workers here.
This hidden financial crisis frequently traps people with degrees and really decent salaries. Why? Well, largely because of a culture built entirely around the appearance of wealth. You know the drill: leasing nice cars, buying trendy clothes, upgrading to the absolute latest gadgets just to keep up with the Joneses. But the reality? It's something else entirely. It's living right on the edge, trapped in this relentless cycle of earning, spending, and repeating, while being completely broke underneath it all. They're aggressively consuming their wealth instead of actually building it.
Moving on to Section 2, 40 years of compound growth, or the mathematics of time.
Look, there is a way to escape this earn and spend cycle. You've probably heard this famous quote attributed to Albert Einstein: "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world." When we think about wealth, we always picture, Wall Street traders shouting on the floor, tech billionaires, or lottery winners. But the real secret to building wealth? It isn't glamorous at all. It doesn't make for exciting headlines. Honestly, it's incredibly boring. It relies heavily on consistency, time, and just letting compound growth quietly work in your favor. Let's look at the actual math here. Say you take that boring approach and consistently invest just a simple $100 a month into the stock market. Over a 40-year career, your personal out-of-pocket contributions will total $48,000. But check this out. Your final portfolio value explodes to over $350,000. That means more than 85% of your wealth in this scenario came not from your physical labor, but purely from your money working for you. There are physical limits to how much you can work, right? But there are virtually no limits to how much your money can earn when you just give it time to compound.
Let's break this math down a bit further. Think of it like a giant snowball rolling down a hill. In the early years, a 10% return on a $5,000 portfolio is only $500. You might think, well, why bother? I could just work a few extra hours for that. But look at how it scales. As your balance grows, those exact same percentage returns translate into massive dollar amounts. When your portfolio hits $50,000, your money makes $5,000 in a single year without you lifting a finger. At $300,000, it's generating $30,000 a year. Eventually, your investments aren't just this tiny little supplement, they become a substantial wealth generator that could replace your salary entirely.
Okay, Section 3, finding your $100 and freeing up that cash today.
So, the math is undeniable, right? Now, let's jump into a highly practical playbook for starting this exact strategy today. To fund your wealth machine, the absolute best place to start is by ruthlessly attacking your fixed costs. Service providers heavily rely on what's called customer inertia. They literally bank on the fact that you're busy and will probably just keep paying your auto-renewing insurance and cell phone bills without checking to see if you're getting ripped off. By spending just a few hours researching alternatives and picking up the phone to negotiate better rates, you can easily free up $50 to $100 a month.
Next up, you've got to tackle the epidemic of recurring charges. Here is your subscription cancellation checklist. Seriously, I want you to go through your credit card statements this week and just slash them. Cut the streaming platforms you barely watch, those software subscriptions running silently in the background, the gym membership you keep telling yourself you'll use starting next Monday, and any digital magazine subscriptions gathering dust. Doing a really thorough audit of these areas can immediately source your $100 without fundamentally changing your quality of life at all. Now, of course, you can only cut so many expenses. So we also have the income option. In today's highly connected economy, increasing your income by just $100 a month is so achievable. Whether that's leveraging skills you already have for freelance work, spinning up a low-overhead side business, or just taking on a few hours of part-time work. Honestly, the specific method matters way less than simply making the unwavering commitment to secure your initial investment capital.
All right, Section 4, automating your wealth machine and beating immediate gratification.
Getting the $100 is one thing, but keeping it consistently invested every single month? That is another story. We live in a culture that is aggressively engineered to promote instant pleasure over saving. So your secret weapon here is investment automation. The most successful investors don't rely on willpower alone. Instead, they set up systems that automatically pull that money into an investment account before they even have a chance to see it in their checking. They treat their monthly investment exactly like a mortgage or an essential electricity bill. They are proactively defending their future wealth from their own present-day impulses.
As the old saying goes, paying yourself first isn't just a nice idea, it's the foundation of financial independence. If you can manage to automate $100 a month, you will immediately pull ahead of more than 60% of your peers. Not because $100 is this massive, unattainable fortune, but simply because the vast majority of people never develop the basic discipline to automate their savings.
Which brings us to our final section, number 5, the wealth-building mindset and accelerating your growth. Once you automate this process, something really fascinating happens psychologically. This strategy will fundamentally alter your entire relationship with money and time. You start to shift away from lifestyle inflation, where you normally blow your raises, bonuses, and tax refunds on upgraded stuff. Instead, you enter what's called the wealth-building acceleration phase. You fully embrace lifestyle optimization. Because as you literally watch your net worth grow without any extra labor from you, it becomes genuinely addictive. You naturally want to channel every piece of extra money you find straight into your investments because you understand exactly how much it's going to multiply. So, the crucial point is this. Your biggest asset isn't your house or your job. Your biggest asset is time. Look at the true cost of delay here. If you wait from age 25 to age 35 to start this $100 habit, you haven't just missed 10 years of raw contributions. No, you have permanently lost 10 years of exponential compound growth on every single dollar. This completely shifts your perspective. You suddenly realize that a $100 dinner today doesn't just cost $100, it literally costs hundreds of dollars in lost future wealth. So I'm going to leave you with this final, essential question. What will delaying another month cost your future self? Every single month you wait is potential growth you can never, ever recover. Yes, the absolute best time to start investing was 20 years ago for sure. But you know what? The second best time is right now. It takes just a few hours to audit your fixed expenses, run through that cancellation checklist, automate that transfer, and set this wealth machine in motion. Take that first step today and let the mathematics of time do the heavy lifting. Thank you so much for exploring this topic with me in today's Explainer, and I'll catch you next time.